Good morning. Today we are going to see the topic approaches of teaching. First one, steps in planning a lesson. A key aspect of effective teaching in having a plan for what you are going to teach in the classroom. Creating such a plan involves setting a realistic goal, dedicating how to incorporate course textbook and resource material and develop activities that will promote learning. The following point will help in planning a lesson. Setting lesson goals. Lesson goals are most usually stated in terms of what student will achieve at the end of the lesson. Stating goals is this way allows both teacher and learner to know whether the goals have been achieved. All goals must be smart. First one, specific. Can the goal precise and well defined? It is clear. Can everyone understand it? What evidence is needed to confirm the completion? How you will judge whether the goal have been attained or not? Is it written your capacity to achieve? Are there sufficient resources are available to achieve? It is possible for you to perform the goal. How does it fit into your work? Is there a deadline? Is it feasible to attain in time? Example, at the end of the lesson, students will be able to find the area of the sector. At the end of the lesson, students will write all the subset of a set. At the end of the lesson, students will be able to construct right-angled triangle. At the end of the lesson, students will be able to draw a straight line. Then design a lesson plan. Classroom determine the India future. Taking the importance of the above statement, lesson plan helps to teacher to plan and prepare classroom teaching. If a teacher goes to class without any preparation, he will not only waste the time but also face some problems. Can to plan and prepare what to teach in each period, how to present it with the systematic order and evaluation procedures to be done in that classroom. All combining and presenting in short is called lesson plan. Lesson planning meaning, in lesson plan teacher has to clarity indicate what are the teaching objectives and how he is going to teach the content in a specific teaching period. What are the aids be used? What are steps to use formative evaluation and what are the assessment are to be given, etc. should be planned and noted in lesson plan. Then definition of lesson plan. Good definition. A lesson plan as an outline of the important points of the lesson arranged in order in which they are to be presented to student by teacher. Passing defines a lesson plan as an organized statement of general and specific goal together with the specific means by which these goals are to be attained by the learner under the guidance of the teacher on the given day. Stand defines a lesson plan is actually a plan of action. It indicates the working philosophy of the teacher, her knowledge of philosophy, her inform about the understanding of her people, his comprehension of the objectives of education, her knowledge of the material to be taught, and her ability to utilize effective methods. Then principles for preparing the lesson plan. While preparing a lesson plan, the following principles should be kept in mind. Student previous knowledge, their capabilities must be basic for a lesson plan. Present the subject matter is in organized, systematic and effective manner. All objective of lesson, both general and specific, should known to the teacher. Lesson plan should create interest in student. Question motivating, self-thinking, thought provocating, etc. should find a place in lesson plan. Need and important features of a lesson plan. A good lesson have the following important characteristic. All the objectives of the lesson, both general and specific, should be stated clearly in the lesson plan. A good lesson plan should outline in detail the various steps that the teacher proposes to take in the class. It prevents waste of time on every step has been planned and written. Lesson plan gives self-confidence to the teacher. A good lesson plan should indicate the list of aid to be used and should specify when and how to use them while teaching. Sometimes we may given more time to an important subject matter. We can rectify this defect while preparing lesson plan. A good lesson plan will integrate previous knowledge and experience to new knowledge. A good lesson plan should stimulate independent thinking, interest, creative imagination, powers of the student. A good lesson plan should be flexible and not rigid. To complete the syllabus in time, lesson plan is needed. It helps the teacher to ask proper and important questions to students. It promotes a healthy learning environment. Uses of lesson plan. Lesson plan helps the student to focus on the subject matter. It helps to complete the lesson in time. It prevents waste of time. We can determine which instructional objective have been fulfilled with the help of the lesson plan. To become master in subject matter, to get clarify in teaching activities, to obtain teaching resources while teaching. It helps to avoid concept concentration. It helps to prepare appropriate teaching aid. It brings self-confidence and self-power of teacher. Then Herbarian steps. First one, German educated J.F. Herbert advocated 5 format steps in teaching. They are preparation, presentation, association, generalization, application. Then the first one is preparation. The industry praise is called the Momo praise. The purpose is to create interest in student in the topic. The teacher may relate the new information to the one already thought or to be the previous knowledge possessed by them. The new information is honored with the existing presentation. The transaction idea is done step by step following psychological approach. Starting from known things, the teacher leads the student to the new information by using comparison, analysis, illustration, demonstration and other audio visual aid including the chalkboard. Then association, thought, assimilation of the new idea through comparison with the former idea and consideration of their similarity and differences in order to in presentation. The presentation transaction idea is done step by step following psychological approach. Starting from known things, the teacher leads the student to the new information by using comparison, analysis, illustration, demonstration and other audio visual aid including the chalkboard. Then association, through assimilation of the new idea through comparison with the former ideas and consideration of their similarity and differences in order to implant the idea in the mind. Then generalization, the science lesson, generally the learning material leads to certain generalization leading to establishment of certain formula, principle of law, and effort should be made that the student draw the conclusion themselves. Teachers should guide the student only if their generalization is either incomplete or irrelevant. Then application. In this step, the knowledge gained is applied to certain situation. This step is in comparative with the general desire of the student to make use of generalization in order to see for them where the generalization are valid in some other situation. Then preparation of a lesson plan. While preparing a lesson plan, generally the following steps are followed. First one, motivation, preparation. Second one, presentation. Third one, association or comparison. Fourth one, generalization. Fifth one, application. Sixth, recapitulation. Seventh, assignment. Motivation or presentation. Students are encouraged to motivate to learn new knowledge. The mind of the child should be prepared to receive new knowledge. Preparation may involve teaching previous knowledge to learn new knowledge, integrating the previous knowledge with the new knowledge, arrest attention of the student using new techniques, announcing the aim of the lesson, then presentation. Here teaching takes important place. Students learn new knowledge. For an effective learning outcome, teachers should ensure active student participation with the use of audio-visual aid. Teachers should stimulate thinking by asking number of questions while teaching. Then third one, association or comparison. Here the student understand the nature of the problem and compare the given information and analyze for the solution of the problem. Here knowledge is correlated with the existing knowledge. Then generalization. In mathematics lesson, generally the learning material leads to certain generalization leading to establishment of certain formulate. Principles of law on effort should be made that the student draw the conclusion themselves. Teachers should guide the student only if their generalization is either incomplete or irrelevant. Then application. Here student apply the rule formulas that they have learn to solve the problem by application of knowledge. The validity of generalization is tested and verified. Thus, the knowledge become more meaningful to the learner and become permanent in this mind. Then recapitulation. Recapitulation helps the student to review the subject matter and consider idea. Here, teacher will ascertain how well the student understood the new knowledge by way of asking few questions. From the answer, we will also judge the effectiveness of the teaching method. That seventh one, assignment and homework to learn mathematics effectively. Classroom activity alone is not enough to know the mathematical concept, law, formula and application. Clarity to we need homework. Along with the classroom activities, homework revise the portion done in the classroom assignment, motivate and reinforce further learning. Then organizing teaching. Organizing of teaching learning is the framework on which effective teaching is based. Careful and thoughtful planning allows instructional time to be maximized, standard to be addressed, prior knowledge to be activated, misconceptions to be controlled, and the desired characteristic and learning needs to be considered. Effective teachers use different methods for teaching to teach knowledge. In this topic, we are going to see 3 different methods for teaching. Then memory level of teaching, Herbarian method. Memory level of teaching, Herbarian method. Teaching is a part of teaching learning process. It is required to bring specific changes in person according to the need of the society. It should improve the learning skill of student. Teaching has to bring changes to the behavior of students. Level of teaching, reflective level, understanding level and memory level. Memory level of teaching. Objectives. The objectives of the memory level teaching is just to impart information of knowledge to the learners. Retention and reproduction through recall or recognition. In this level of teaching, content, presentation and its exercise is important for learning. Emphasis is given on the presentation of information and fact in a systematic manner with a view to develop memory of student. At this level, recall and recognition has important places. Professor Herbert described the following 5 steps for the memory level of teaching. They are focus, syntax, social system, support system, evaluation system. Focus. Here importance is given on grooming to fact and development of following capacities, training of mental aspect, providing knowledge of fact, retaining the learned fact, recalling and representing the learned content. Then preparation. Important function of the step is to bring relevant idea of the subject matter. The teacher plan about presentation of the content. Presentation. The students are given new knowledge by testing their previous knowledge. In comparison, in this level, teacher attempt to compare old fact and new fact, the similarities and dissimilarities, relationship between two subjects, etc. Then generalization. Peoples are given opportunities to think the content. People formulate some principles and laws which can be used in the future life situation. Then application. Teacher generate new situation to use learn knowledge in new situation. Support system. Here support are used to make learning more effective. The audio visual aid are used to present the content in an observable form. Then social system. This system consists of authorization behavior. The teacher is more active to construct and present the subject matter systematically and logically in the classroom. The learners are passive listener and they have to memorize and reproduce the content, and their activities are directed by the teacher. At this level, teacher provides motivation through the praise or punishment. If the learner is motivated or reinforced continuously, then they learn better. Then evaluation system. Evaluation is the evidences about the realization of goal of teaching. Usually, oral tests are given to measure the learned material. The objective test of recall and recognition types are given to evaluate the knowledge of the student. Then features of memory level. Analysis of the subject matter is more important in this level of teaching. Much emphasis is given on the presentation of subject matter and not the experience of the student. Define and systematic orders of subject matter is presented in this level of teaching. Teachers are not very flexible in the presentation of subject matter. The mechanical handling of the various segments of content. Learning outcome is of short duration. Interaction between teacher and student is at the lowest level. Then role of teacher. Dominating, active and authorization role. He is the authority to construct, deliver, direct, control and evaluate the performance. Task, initiative, present the subject matter, direct the learner to do the activity in the desired manner. Right form of selection of the subject matter to its evaluation. The key process of teaching learning remains with the teacher. Then suggestion for memory level teaching. Frequent recall or reproduction of content should be practiced. Whole to part method should be used. The content should have definite structure. Teaching content should be integrated. Content should be presented simultaneously. Continuous reinforcement should be provided to the student. Student retention can be increased by practices. Then merit of memory level teaching. Then merit of memory level teaching useful for children at lower classes. The role of the teacher is important in the level of teaching and he is free to make choices of subject matter, plan it and can present it at will. The knowledge acquired at memory level teaching form a basics for the future. Memory level teaching act as the first step for understanding and reflective level of teaching. It is prerequisite for understanding level teaching. It is useful for slow learners. Then demerits of memory level. This does not contribute to the development of the student's capabilities. At this level, students learn by the role, so the knowledge gained does not prove helpful in real life situation. as it does not develop the talent of student. The people are kept in strict discipline. Intelligence does not carry any importance in this type of teaching and it lacks motivation. No interaction in the class. There is no guarantee of good retention and appropriate reproduction of the memorized material by the learner. Then, understanding level of teaching. Morrison method. The teaching at the understanding level is of a higher quality than the one of the memory level. It is more useful and thoughtful from the point of view of mental capabilities. Then, at this level of teaching, the teacher explains the student about the relationship between principles and fact that teach them how the principle can be applied. This method enables students to have complete command over subject material. No cramming is encouraged here. The term understanding means to comprehend, to grasp, and to have knowledge up to learn, to interpret, and to infer, etc. Then Henry Morrison clearly stated that understanding is not merely being able to recall something. It is not mere generalization reduced from specific fact. It is an insight into how it may be in future situations. Morrison arranged that the outcome of all teaching is necessary and not memorization of fact. Morrison is the main promoter of understanding level of teaching. Objectives: acquisition of required knowledge. Fact: to see the relationship between required fact. Morrison has described 5 steps in the teaching model: exploration, presentation, assimilation, organization, recitation. Let us discuss the above step in detail. Exploration. In this step, the teacher tries to know the student entry level behavior or previous knowledge. Then presentation, the overview of the subject matter is given. Avoid the structure of the whole unit is described with the student. Then assimilation. In this step, the student study the subject matter deeply and try to relate the presented material to the internal self. Then organization. The student present the acquired knowledge in a systematic manner about the help of the teacher. Then recitation. This step is related to the student verbal expression of the subject matter which is learned by them. They visit the whole content. Morrison instructional pattern. Morrison teaching plan involved the following steps: pre-test teaching, testing the result of instruction, changing the instruction procedures and teaching and testing again until the unit has been completely mastered by the student. Subject matter and its presentation. Subject matter and its presentation. The subject matter for the understanding level teaching is quite structured in terms of planning, sequential and organized presentation and meaningful learning. It needs to be linked with the previous knowledge of that student and with the utilization for acquiring new fact and application of practical life. Role of teacher. Like memory level of teaching, the teacher plays a dominant and authorization role at the understanding level of teaching. This type of teaching is also subject-centered and subject matter to his student to attain the desired understanding object. Besides the knowledge objective, he has to take care of the fact that the student gain complete mastery over the subject matter in terms of the full understanding and generalized insight rather than is more memorization. Lecture, demonstration or explanation, question and answer method, inductive followed by deductive approach and analytic method with a synthetic approach are all carried out at the understanding level. Then evaluation. Well-planned oral, written and practical examination are conducted in and outside the classroom. However, emphasis is given to test to know ability to analyze, systematic and apply the generalized principle for deducing new fact and solving novel problem. Then merit of understanding level of teaching